Thanks for staying with us here on KCTV 5 Plus. Taylor Johnson here with Corporal Howard from the Missouri Highway Patrol. Thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we are talking about School Bus Safety Week, which is recognized every third week in October on a yearly basis. We also did some reporting earlier this week that Jackson County is already doing some of their own extra patrols. But what can you tell us about the efforts being put in place during this particular week?
Yeah, so just as normal, our troopers that are patrolling their specific areas of coverage, they're always looking for these types of violations, to include stop arm violations for school buses. Not only just this week, but always we're looking for these violations. But especially this week, we just have more of an emphasis on the importance of that school bus safety.
And what would you say are some of the most common violations that you all see?
It would just be failing to stop for that school bus. So essentially trying to beat the school bus stopping. That's probably the most common that we see around the metro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I even noticed the other day, I was coming from the gym and there was a school bus, and I think people do fail to realize those stop signs are on the side of the bus with the flashing lights.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things. As we consider traffic safety to be very important, this also includes that with our school buses, especially because of the precious cargo that they transport. And so I think what it comes down to is just people being patient, being aware of where they're driving, not being distracted, and when they're approaching those school zones, to be extra aware, to be extra vigilant, to be ensuring that they're paying attention and being able to stop in time for that school bus so that those kids can unload and load safely.
And so do you have any data or anything you could share with us just about school bus safety? Have there been crashes in recent years, things that we should know about?
I don't have any hard set data at this time. I know that it's like I said, a violation that we see and that we enforce when we see that. I don't have any data to share at the moment, unfortunately. But it's just something that, like I said, is very important to us. And so please do your part to cooperate with these laws. They're in place for a reason, like I said, to ensure the safety of our kids to and from their school day.
Yeah. And so for the students themselves, what are maybe some advice you might give to parents that they could share with their kids about being vigilant when they're getting off the school bus or getting on the bus?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think obviously there are set zones for them to load in, and so just to be sure that they're standing in those zones, and then not only that, but that they're not standing in the roadway, that they're standing up off the roadway, and that they're waiting for that bus to make the stop for them to then go and load, or vice versa when they're unloading, to ensure that they're doing that. And then although traffic should be stopping, to be double checking that before they cross the roadway, just so that it's never a bad idea to be too safe. And so just making sure that the roadway is clear before they cross. I think another important thing to note as far as students go, as they're passengers on that bus, is to not be a distraction to that driver. I think that's a lot of times something that we preach to younger audiences, that distractions can come from passengers. And so just to be aware of that and to do your part and not distracting that driver so that they can pay attention to the roadway 100%, making that their full-time job, and ensuring that they can get those students where they need to go safely.
And I can say this now since I'm an adult, but
Yeah.
I remember when I was in school and we were on a field trip and the semi driver would come by and we're like, honk, honk, honk,
Sure.
honk, and they honk their horn. So I'm sure that could serve as one of those potential distractions. They're trying to play along with us, but at the same time, it could end up being something that's unsafe.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else that you want to share with our audience this morning about School Bus Safety Week?
No, thank you for having me again, and once again, just to the public, please continue to do your part where traffic safety is considered, especially when we're talking about school buses that transport our precious cargo to and from school. So provide proper following distance behind that school bus. Don't take your attention off the roadway, so to not be distracted as you're driving, and to be extra vigilant when you're in those school zones, ensuring that you're aware of when those school buses are stopping, because that is when the kids are unloading and loading. And then most importantly, don't try to beat the bus. It is a law to stop for those school buses. So when you see those yellow lights illuminate, to slow down, and when you see those red lights illuminated and the stop sign out, out and the stop arm across the front of the bus, you are required by law to stop. And so please do so. No trip is more important than the safety of our kids as they're going to and from school.
Yes, that is for sure. Like you said, we have precious cargo on those school buses. Well, thank you again, Corporal Howard, for coming in and sharing this important information, helping us to raise awareness, and we hope to talk with you again soon.
Yes, of course.
All right.